The busiest Thanksgiving weekend on record for air travel will follow the longest government shutdown in history. You throw in a cold snap and thunderstorms, shaping up to be a challenging weekend for air travel providers. Joining us to discuss the pressures facing the airlines and their employees is Sarah Nelson. She is International President of the Association of Flight Attendants. Sarah, really great to have you with us. We've been talking about this from the traveler's perspective, and really the narrative has been travelers bracing for this weekend, given all the disruptions we've seen when it comes to the airline industry. Give us the perspective from where you're sitting when it comes to the folks who are actually staffing those airplanes.
Well, thanks so much, Katie. And first of all, I'd just like to recognize the crews and the workers in the airport who are away from their families this holiday to make sure that other people can get to their families. We are thinking first and foremost about safety and security. When you see delays or cancellations, that is typically simply because it's unsafe to go, or it's unsafe to go at that time. So we want the traveling public to know that we're here to help you along your way. But there's some things that you can do to help yourselves too. Check on your flight before you leave home. Give yourself plenty of time when you come to the airport. Pack your bag from an empty bag so that you're not accidentally putting any prohibited items in that bag. Carry an empty water bottle that you can fill up at the water stations, and a protein bar in case you're not able to get food or you're on an extended delay. And look up from your phone and make eye contact with the crew when you get on board. We're always looking for helpers. We are understaffed, and many of the flight crews are not getting paid during that boarding time, but we're trying to make contact with you and look for our helpers and have crammed airplanes get off the ground safely and land so that you can get to your loved ones.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more when it comes to staffing, because we heard from FAA Administrator Brian Bedford saying that when it comes to air traffic controllers, that the towers are adequately staffed when it comes to the holidays. What about when it comes to flight attendants? What do staffing levels look like right now?
People should know that the airlines are staffing at FAA minimums. So while we may have enough staffing levels to make up if there's a delayed flight, having a standby flight attendant able to take that flight, those things are in place. But if we get into a place where we've got storms added on top of this and the delays cascade, sometimes the crew that you're waiting for is working a flight that is sitting out on the tarmac or hasn't landed yet. We're not in place yet to get on your flight. So it's not as though people are not already at work trying to fill those staffing roles. When there's a real backup of cancellation and delays, that means that crews get out of position to be able to work the next flight too.
What kind of changes are made, Sarah, typically around these holiday weekends, or at least the weekends where we do see a huge uptick in travel, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, et cetera?
Usually there is an effort to provide overtime pay or incentive pay for people to pick up additional flying, especially if there's a storm that rolls in. You run into a situation where in a lot of our contracts, we have negotiated that management can have sort of an emergency pay put in place where people may decide, you know, it's not worth it to be away from my family if I'm making my regular pay, but maybe if I make a little bit more, I'll head out there. We also typically try to negotiate holiday pay so that people are actually getting paid more. But you know, this is difficult when we've got half of our contracts in place and half that are not. People are not making really a living wage to come to work, and it's hard to incentivize people when it's also very, very difficult work. You have people who are not used to traveling, so there's a lot more questions, there's a lot more confusion, there's a lot more for the crews to do. It's a very, very labor-intensive time for the people on the front lines.
Well, that's what I'm curious about, Sarah, as far as like new entrants coming in, and this is just purely my own anecdotes. I travel a lot, and I've taken note of the age of a lot of the flight attendants I see, and I do wonder, and that's not a diss on anybody, but I do wonder about how many new or younger people are coming into this industry relative to maybe when you were starting out.
We've seen a lot of hiring since COVID. So you have a lot of people who are just starting out on the career. And you're right. When you have seasoned flight attendants who have been through these holidays and have that experience under their belt, a lot of times they'll know what to expect, can sort of prepare for that. But We have really well trained flight attendants who are also experts in de-escalation, and the amount of people who come through and the conflicts that can exist when you have humanity jam-packed together, also with a narrative in this country that we're divided, that is really a recipe for a disaster. And flight attendants really expertly keep people calm, people calmed down, and it's very few flights that end up on the evening news.
Yeah. I am curious, just thinking a little bit more long term, Sarah. We heard from Sean Duffy, the transportation administrator, the other day, gave an interview on another network talking about kind of reigniting the golden age of air travel. I think we're both too young to really remember that. But it sort of harkens back to this apparently time where, it was sort of a luxury experience. Do you think that air travel is going to go back in that direction, or is it going to be more of a balance between those folks who do want a premium experience and those folks who, quite frankly, just want a rock bottom price to get from point A to point B?
Well, let's make it really clear. The golden age of air travel was not accessible to everyone in America. It was usually, it was a lot of men, it was a lot of white men, and it was a very sexist time for flight attendants. And so, we can think about the more space that we had and the roast that we used to carve in the aisle. And I can talk about all day long about all of the glory of that time. But what we also aren't talking about is the accessibility. Air travel is way more accessible today. Many more people traveling. Our skies look like our nation looks, and so do flight attendants and other crew members and other people working in these jobs. So there's some things that I wouldn't necessarily want to return to. Now, the staffing and the space and the ability to take care of people, we all would love to see that. But there, air travel is really about bringing people together, and this is about practicing solidarity, and it just doesn't work if it's not inclusive. And today, air travel is extremely inclusive, and that means that, we've got to handle a lot of things. Flight attendants usually are at the tip of the spear of anything social or political happening in this country. We see it. And the more that we can lift up from our leaders this idea of treating each other with kindness and coming to the airport with solidarity in your heart, the more safe and efficient air travel is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Sarah, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll catch up with you soon, I'm sure. Sarah Nelson, International President of the Association of Flight Attendants. When we come back here on the program,